Hi everybody, thank you for tuning into another video on TK's Tech Corner. Today we're going to be taking a look at this fantastic new controller from EasySMX. This here is the S10, primarily designed for the Nintendo Switch. But as you can see, it's also compatible on the PC, iOS and Android formats. Now, since I saw this on their website, I was pretty excited to get my hands on it. So really want to just crack this open and see what it's all about. The main thing is this is a alternative for a controller like the Nintendo Switch, the Pro controller. So they've got the Pro 2 controller as well. And we will be looking at this and trying to understand why you'd probably want to pick up something like this if you don't want to fork out for the Pro 2 controller, which is quite expensive. So we're just going to quickly crack this open. And then we'll test it out on the Nintendo Switch 2. I've got the Nintendo Switch 2 here. We'll see how it performs. It'll be interesting to see if it wakes the console from sleep, because currently the only controllers that I've seen that wake it from sleep mode are the Pro 2 controller and also the Joy-Cons. So they've limited that functionality so far anyway to their own controllers, and it will just be really nice to see if a third party, especially one like EasySMX, which just releases banging controller after banging controller after banging controller, and crack the code to get this thing turning on from a sleep state in the dock so that you don't have to walk over to it and turn it on yourself. In the box we have some paperwork. It does say S10 Switch 2, so it clearly is focused on the Nintendo Switch 2. And that's when this thing first caught my eye, when the Switch 2 was coming out. The controller here, which I'm going to get out in just a minute. I think this might be available in a couple of colors. And then we've also got a little insert here, which is probably going to have some cables in it, maybe a USB-C cable. Oh, it's got a faceplate. Nice. I'm going to leave that because it's got some interchangeable faceplates. And super cool customizable stickers. How cool is that? First time I've seen that from EasySMX. In fact, first time I've seen it from any controller. Inside here we've also got a D-pad, lovely. So it looks like we can switch a D-pad from, I think what comes standard is the Xbox Elite style D-pad, and then you've got the traditional D-pad there if you want to switch. Always nice to see some customization and some more stickers there. So if you don't want dolphins all over your controller or whatever they are, you go aliens, you can have some planetary stuff. Let's get that on the side. Nothing else in the box there. Underneath, some more paperwork, so the user manual, we'll probably need that, and a USB A to C cable as well for power and charging. Right, so now I'm just going to quickly get rid of everything here. So we've got the controller here now, the boxes are away finally. Has got a, oh, look at that, lovely. So this is the black color. As I said, I think there might be other colors on the website, check them out. First impressions holding this beauty, this thing feels like a gem. Almost feels like they've molded it around my hands, but it's going to feel just as good in your hands. Oh, this is good. I'm going to come around to the buttons in a minute. So let's start on the actual top. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the EasySMX S10 logo there. So first time I've seen this style logo on the EasySMX controllers. You typically see their actual logo there. So I think maybe they're changing or rebranding, but that looks really nice. I like the placement of that. And it's set in, so it's not sticking out at all and doesn't get in the way you're sort of, feel uncomfortable when your hand's on the grip now. The next thing, as I said, is the D-pad here. That pops off very easily, and it clips on and it stays in firmly when you're playing. It's definitely not going to come out when you're playing because you're pressing down on it. So the D-pad, the standard one, is the analog, what am I talking about? The Xbox Elite style one. That's typically what we're seeing on the Xbox controllers. And I've got to say, this has got that floating D-pad design like the S15 and some of the other EasySMX, like the D10, the ones you've seen reviewed on my channel. And I absolutely love this. The movement on that, look at that, is fantastic. And I think it's an 8-way D-pad is what I'm feeling here. So this thing is no doubt going to be very precise. I'd almost love to play Street Fighter 2 on this pad. That feels awesome. analog sticks. So we've got the concave sticks on the top here rather than convex. I like convex, but they feel good, equally as good anyway. And we've got the grips on the sides, as you can see there, going all the way around. Not to the bottom, so it's flat on the bottom there, but the grips, same, very, very fine Xbox style grips on the analog sticks. ABXY now, again, because this is primarily designed for Nintendo Switch, the ABXY button layout is that of Nintendo rather than Xbox, etc. Plus minus buttons. Now here we've got some customizable buttons. So we've got the C button, the chat button, interesting because again, we've only ever seen that on the Switch 2 control official one so far. The home button, yet to see if this thing wakes up. And then the screenshot button there is also, we've got the 3 buttons there. This faceplate is magnetically removable, so I think it will just clip off and then we'll be able to clip something else on. And you can see, I should have taken that off first really. This whole spacey sort of look there. And then if you want to replace it with the clear one, you can put that on there. Now the beauty of this thing is that ultimately, because it's clear, you could probably make your own sort of inset underneath, paper, color it in, do whatever you like. Maybe that's the idea, right? And then snap the clear one on and you've got your own sort of custom designed joypad really. So that goes on quite well. There you go. As you can see, it's a nice, easy to change, pop them in, pop them out and carry on playing, right? So let's leave that one on there for now and let's pick up the D-pad I just dropped. Right, so where are we now? D-pad, let's quickly just try the other D-pad out as well. Let's see how that one feels. And then I'm going to go through all the actual buttons as well, as I normally do, walk through the controller so you get a good idea of what it looks and feels like. Now this goes on in a, does it go in a specific way? I think so. Oh, I've dropped that as well. The problem is my hands are so dry, I'm just dropping everything at the moment. If I drop it again, I am not going to bother picking this thing up. Promise you. Right. It's gone on. And there you go. You've got a normal D-pad. How cool is that? Completely customizable. Feels normal. Now the movement on this thing, again, because it's that sort of floating style, is very, very, very interesting indeed. I think the other one feels better, personally, from a movement perspective. I think because of the style of D-pad, this to me feels almost unnatural. I don't know if the one for the S50, I've got the other S15 here, but it's not going to clip off. But yeah, this, I mean, you can see the movement there. It's phenomenal amount of movement, almost feels unreal. Feels okay, feels nice and smooth. I think I'm going back to this one because I really, really, really like the look and feel of this. Now again, I've got to get it in the right direction for it to sit properly. And I think that is, there's a little line in here, right? So you got to make sure it lines up properly. And I think the way that's going to go, I've got to make sure I've got this, aha, okay, right, I see it there. See that little circle? Can you see that little thing there? On the top there, that lines up with that gap right there. That's going to go in like this. That's gone in. In fact, I didn't do that with this. I didn't put that in properly. I didn't actually give it a chance, did I? Let's give it one more go because I like to be thorough with these things. So sorry, there you go. Now it's gone in properly. Look at that. Now it feels proper. Now I might actually consider using it. Just feels like a normal D-pad now. Right, let's leave that on then. Lovely. Even though I do like the other one better. Moving on to the buttons. Mecha tactile switches. They feel awesome. You can see in terms of height, they're not super high. They're quite flush to the surface of the joypad there. They feel great. And I like the size of them as well. Really, really nice size. And spacing wise, it's fantastic because you can literally hit all of them with very, very minimal movement. And these feel super, super responsive, right? Analog sticks, Hall effect, super, super smooth. It looks like we've got, what, are they nylon maybe? Nylon sticks on these nylon glide rings here. Feels fantastic. Literally feels like they're just floating. I'm not feeling any friction at all. No friction, no knots. It's just super smooth. Plus and minus button standard. Maybe membrane switches, I'm not really sure. These are fantastically placed, almost Xbox style bumpers there. Look at that. Fingers can wrap over them however you want, and they're clicking perfectly along the whole length of those fantastically placed and shaped pads there, bumpers there. And then these are not analog. Now, it would be nice if they had switches for them, because we've seen that on the D10. In the next one, maybe if we see the S20 or something like that, EasySMX, if you're watching, I'd love to see switchable triggers on this, because that would make this thing almost absolutely perfect, if it isn't already perfect. Switchable triggers so that when we're playing on, PC, etc., we're getting the full analog experience as well. These, to me, don't feel analog. They're clicky switches, micro switches. They sound very, very nice. I like the curvature of them and the placement of them. Finger's never going to slip off that. Very, very generous size, so your finger can rest on them very comfortably, and very, very satisfying to press. That could almost get addictive. These 3 buttons, pretty standard. We're going to come back to those in a minute. On the back, we've got 2 programmable buttons. They've called these GR and GL. So grip left, grip right. They're going to be customizable, probably through a combination of button presses. And then on the back, we've also got the mode switch button. So we've got a button there, and then we've got the option to switch between S and X. S is going to be for the switch node. X is probably going to be X input for the other devices. That is my guess there. On the top, the charging port. And what I'm not seeing, but we might see when we turn it on, is the actual lights to show you which player number you're connected to, because normally on the Switch you see those 4 lights, right? So I'm just going to quickly bring the Nintendo Switch 2 in here, and then I'm going to get going testing this thing, and we'll probably have to crack open the manual to check out some of the customizations. So if I have time, I'll do that as well. What I'm holding here is the Switch 2, believe it or not, with my own custom adapters so that I could use these Joy-Cons. I made these specially for these because these, as far as I'm concerned, were the best Joy-Cons ever made for the Nintendo Switch. These are also by EasySMX, the S15. I will leave a link for these in the description as well in case you're interested. And then also, if you want these adapters, just message me and let me know, and I might be able to get some out to you for a small cost. Now, this, honestly, to me, as I said, best Joy-Cons, right? These are my daily driver for the Switch 2. They mostly spend their time on there unless I'm traveling, then I take them off. But at home, these are mostly on there, because then I feel like I'm playing on a Pro controller, to be honest. So I'm going to leave them on. What we'll do is we'll turn on the Switch quickly, and then I'm going to press the home button on here. Oh wow, look at that, the lights are on. Yes sir. Oh, look at that, there it is. There's a logo that we love. I'm going to go to controllers. I'm going to go to search for controllers. I don't know if it's going to find it or not. I might have to press the M button to get into some sort of a pairing mode maybe. I'm just going to hold the M button for a bit and see what happens. No, nothing there. Change grip order. This normally works when it finds it in it. It will come up there, and then this is the bit where you pull out the instruction manual, isn't it? You read and you find out that you've done something very, very badly wrong. All right, so this is where we're going to crack open the instruction manual quickly and figure out how we're going to pair this. Right, so apparently all we've got to do is hold the home button 3 seconds until the light starts flashing rapidly. So that's what we're doing. Holding it for 3 seconds. There we go, straight away. Helps to read instructions, as you can see. Right, that's on. That thing feels awesome. NFC, HD, rumble, what more do you want? Why are you looking at a Switch 2 Pro controller? This is what you should be looking at. Look at it. It's got lights and everything. Look at that. Lighting. Yes, I like it. I wonder if you can change the color of that EasySMX logo. I love the way they put that in, because I did not even expect that, to be honest. Looks awesome. Well done. Okay, first test then is, yeah, it's definitely working, as we can see. I'm going to explain why controllers like this are so important when they've got programmable features like turbo mode. especially when you're playing a game like Donkey Kong Bonanza. Very, very important. We're going to come to that in a minute. So as you can see, it's working absolutely fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly check out the motion controls as well. So motion controls working superbly, as you can see there. I can confirm the HD rumble basically feels like I'm using the Joy-Cons, to be honest. HD rumble feels very nice. Now, the HD rumble in here is very, very welcome. These don't have HD rumble from what I remember anyway. I mean, the rumble on there is still great, but this just feels fantastic. The fact that you've got NFC in here, you can use your Amiibo, so you're not getting shortchanged there either. So that's also really, really good news. Yeah, the HD rumble is superb on this, and it's not noisy at all. It's dead silent. I can just feel it. It's like haptic feedback. It feels really, really, really nice. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is see if this thing wakes up. So I've turned it off. Now, moment of truth. If I press the home button, does the switch wake up? I don't expect it to, by the way. And if it doesn't, it's not a problem. It doesn't. So interestingly, after I'd finished recording the video, I had naturally missed something because I hadn't read the quick start guide. There is actually support here for the wake up function, so I'm going to slip this into the video somewhere. Quick start and wake up guide for Nintendo Switch 2. So it looks like we can use this controller to wake up the Nintendo Switch. My current pairing of this is not working. I've switched the Joy-Cons because what this says is, within 20 seconds after pairing, detach and reattach the Joy-Con to activate the wireless wake-up function. How cool is that? So we got to try it first. If it doesn't work, if this happens, just repeat the pairing process and wake-up will work as expected. So of course we have to try this out because this is one of the main features I really, really wanted to see. So now this is already paired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to change grip controller. And I'm going to do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this button for 3 seconds. Light starts flashing. It will hopefully pair to the switch. Right, it has done. And once that's done, I'm going to do this. So it doesn't say which Joy-Con. It just says within 20 seconds, detach and reattach. So I've done that. Now I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to press the home button and see what happens. Nope, hasn't worked. No doubt this will work. Just need to figure out how. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try just the left Joy-Con this time. Right. Aha, look at that. Just the left Joy-Con. And it worked. It's almost like it's detected like a Joy-Con. Strange. Right, okay, so that's worked. Now I'm going to just put this from sleep from here. I'm going to wake it up again, make sure it all works. It does work. Really, really good. So on that note, yeah, it works absolutely fine. There we go. So we'll carry on with this, right? So I'm going to have a look at some programming options for this, right? So remember, we've got the option to set some turbo mode there, as you can see right there. You don't need to flick through the documentation because I will do it for you. Press the M button, so that's the button at the back, and A to activate continuous firing while holding the A button. So obviously, I'm going to show you benefits of using something like this in Donkey Kong Country. Now, as I said, in Donkey Kong Country, you button bash a lot, right? You bash your button for punching and bashing downwards like so. Eventually, that's going to take a toll on your controllers, no doubt. Now, when I use these, I was just very, very quickly toggling it into a turbo mode. And I'm going to try that here. So you press the M button and the Y button. Now look at this. I'm just holding the button. Bash away through everything you possibly want to bash through. This is why it's important to have this sort of a mode on a controller. And I don't think this is something the Switch 2 Pro controller supports. I don't have the controller. It's been some time since I read about it now, to be honest. But from what I recall, I don't think it supported that at all. It works absolutely fine. Now, if I was playing and I wanted to go into chat mode, let's press the C button. Now you see what they've done there, right? The C button is macro programmed to go into this chat mode. So that was interesting, right? If I go home, go back to where I was, I'm in there, I'm going to press the C button. Does the job though, innit? Really, there you go. And then you can just go to chat mode and you can crack on. Really good. So that works. The snapshot mode, screenshot works absolutely fine. Taking a screen capture. We've seen the turbo modes. Now the back buttons, again, the GL and GR, these are programmable. So you can control whatever you like with them, charging and power, right? Shuts down automatically after 10 minutes of inactivity. We can even calibrate the sticks and the motion sensor there, as you can see. So you can calibrate the controller without even calibrating it on the Switch, which you can also do. And then you can also adjust the RGB lighting. So M button twice to cycle through a short vibration, confirm successful RGB, then turn the left trigger up or down, right? Okay, cool. Let's try that. So M button, press that twice. Now, as you can see, that's there. Now you can see I'm flicking through the lighting modes. That's turning it off completely. This is so cool. Look at that. I like that. And then the M button again, just to get back to normal, right? And they're so subtle. They're not in your face. They're not blinding you while you're playing. They're subtle RGB lights. Absolutely beautiful. The buttons on the back are placed very, very well. They're clicky as well, but they're not super clicky. And they're not placed in a position where you would be accidentally pressing them whilst holding the grip. The grips are extremely generous, and this thing, as I said, it's just, wow, so well fitting into the hand. Let's also just quickly test out the macro, the GL and GR buttons on the back. So there'll be some options here. So you can adjust the vibration as well. Look at that. Like with a lot of the EasySMX controllers. So you press the M button and turn the left stick up or down. So if you do that, so M button there, that's going through different vibration modes. That's interesting because I can literally feel him walking around. That's so cool. Right, there we go. Quickly test the back buttons and we'll call it a day, because this thing is just awesome and I could probably make this video very, very long unnecessarily, but I don't want to do it. Programming the GL and GR buttons. To program a button while connected, press and hold M and GL, GR, RGB will show, and then you probably press the button that you want to program it to, is my guess, or a macro probably, right? So there you go. So you can do button combination, which is a macro, as well as just a single button. Or you can press multiple buttons by the looks of it as well, right? And then you can cancel it by pressing the buttons together as well. So let's just try that out quickly. It shows all the buttons that can be programmed. Let's give that a quick test, and then we've pretty much tested everything. So I'm just going to press the M button, and I'm going to try this one here, for example, right? And I'll make that one of these buttons maybe. So let's try that. Right, there we go. As you can see that there. Now the interesting thing here, right, is because I've got this one, Y button in turbo mode, What if I program that to the Y button? Let's see what happens there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing out of turbo mode. Right, it's out of turbo mode. I'm going to program it now, right? So I'm going to hold the M and GL button, and then I'm going to press that, and then I'm just going to press the GL button again. Now, as you can see, that's working, right? Now, if I put Y into turbo mode, this is good because sometimes you don't want to be bashing all the time. Like when you're holding a button for charge punches, right? You don't want to be stuck in that auto fire mode because you can't charge up your punches, and that's the case in this game. So you want the option to be able to do both. So in that case, I might want to leave this for a charge punch, right? And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. And I want to use this for auto fire. So let's switch this to auto fire. So this is on auto fire now. And this is not. So now if I'm in bonanza mode, let me show you this for example. Yeah, that's the auto fire mode. But if I hold this button, I'm charging up. So that's really, really important to have that option to be able to switch between both modes. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what to say, speechless. This thing is just everything I expected and then some. Look at the textured grips there as well. How comfortable that is. Perfectly textured. Going to give you hours of gameplay with your sweaty hands, because that's what you have to spend on these games sometimes. Hours and hours and hours. There you go. I'm going to end that video. Link to this fantastic controller in the description below is going to give you a discount if you want to buy it as well. So go ahead and use that discount code and get your discounts in. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. Any question about this awesome controller, please ask them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, but you've enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe in that bottom right hand corner. Thank you for supporting the channel. I shall see you in the next one.